Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
Hello. Excuse me. Welcome to Tuesday Nights on Deck, brought to you by Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am joined by my man Stirrup, Crispy Bacon. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. Not too bad. Hope everyone's having a good day.
Yep, and below us, Coach D. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. Mets are in first place. My Rattlers team, we won both games this last weekend, so the boys are doing good. So I just need the Mavericks and the Stars to win this week.
Hopefully, Stars play later tonight.
Yeah, Dirk, if that happens, you might have to go buy a lottery ticket. You know,
I actually did, and I lost.
Oh, okay.
I hate when it says you're not a winner, or it just says not a winner. I'm like,
Yep.
How about you lose? How about that? Would that be better?
You're a loser. All right. So, Dirk, since we didn't get to hear from you last week, why don't you give us a little rundown on how the Mets are showing up?
Well, the Mets are rolling right along. Well, first they're going to get the big news out of the way. Wherever Tim is, he can have Cano back. The Mets released him, designated for assignment. He wasn't hitting a lick. And I think that's actually going to help the team. I know the guys in the clubhouse liked him and respected him, but he just doesn't have it anymore. So it's going to give some more players, young guys, a chance to play. They're rolling along pretty good. Pitching has been great. They're in first place. What are they? 17-8. And over the second place Marlins, they're like, what do they got? Like a 3.5 game lead, something like that. But the Marlins will go away. Pitching has been outstanding. The starters, the other day, the Mets had their second ever no-hitter. It was a combined no-hitter. And 5 pitchers. Tyler McGee, he started the game. That dude has been nothing short of awesome. He's like 4-0, has a 2-point-something ERA. He's a good pitcher. Carrasco has been doing well. The other guys, Scherzer, geez, it's almost like Jacob who. Scherzer's out there, and the more I see him, it's like that's a guy you want on your team because he gets fired up in the dugout. He doesn't even have to be pitching and everything. The bullpen's been great. It's really good. The guys are hitting. Lindor is hitting over 300. They're all contributing. It's a team effort. Every day somebody else does something for them to win the game. It'll be Alonso with a home run, and then Escobar with an RBI double off the wall to put the Mets up. This is the way a good team plays, and they have good players. They seem to have good chemistry. They all get along and stuff, because there's a few new faces. I'm happy. DeGrom's a month away from coming back. They did get Carrasco back, and he's doing good pitching. They're just doing good. Them and the Giants are the only teams in MLB that have won every series they've played this year. And that's what you do. You look at it. Yeah, I know the Yankees got a winning streak going on, but heck with them. And, you win this series. You win 2 out of 3. You win 3 out of 4. You just keep doing that. You'll get your winning streaks going. Stay healthy, play good, man. I'm liking Buck Showalter. He's doing smart things. The Mets are playing smart baseball, and that's thanks to Buck Showalter. There's been a couple of games where they've done a weird play, but it worked out, and then you find out, oh, yeah, this happened 15 years ago, and Buck did the same thing. He remembered. So I'm proud of them. I think they're going to keep on rolling. It's just because of the previous 5 years, I'm just scared of the injury bug. But the guys are all doing great, and they've got players in the minor leagues that are banging on the door to come up. So anybody gets into an extended slump or something, there's guys down there that are pushing them too. So,
all right, that's good. That's good. You touched on Cano. So, outside of probably his leadership in the locker room or the respect, are they going to miss anything from Cano or Cano? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think from what they all say, they will miss him, but he started out, had a good first week, and he hasn't done a lick since. His bat's too slow, and his fielding is okay, but they need him to hit. Yeah. And it's time. It's time. Tim can have him back. The Mariners would welcome him with open arms. The bad thing is the Mets are probably going to be on the hook for his remaining $40 million. And
Bobby Bonilla style. Let's do it.
Yep, but Uncle Stevie is about winning. He's got billions. 40 million. It's nickels to him.
Yep. Yep. Put him on the Bobby Bonilla salary plan.
Hey, one thing I do want to touch on the end of the program, the combined no-hitter versus the regular no-hitters.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely get to that.
Let's touch on that. It's an interesting topic. Okay.
Well, Chris, let's talk about your Rangers. You recently just went to a game, too, so how was that? Let's talk about that.
It went bad. Nice stadium. Rangers won against the Braves on Sunday, and, looking to actually they're playing the Phillies right now. I think it was just the bottom of heading into the bottom of the fourth. Yeah. Yep. But everyone's playing a little better. We're getting some players back, and hopefully everything stays okay right now.
No, I get it. My Twins are kind of shocking me a little bit early on with the way they're pitching. I think I saw they were third in the major league or sixth in the majors, I think, with their rotation. Can't see what you're showing there, Derek. It's too bright. No, you had it in the camera view. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, the standings. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely shocking. Sano's going to be on the injured list. He's getting surgery tomorrow for his meniscus. So part of me, kind of happy he's out of lineup because he's batting, 87 or something like that. He's not hitting. But they called up some young studs, and overall, I'm impressed with the way the Twins are rolling right now. So right now we got let's get some finals here. Has there been a final? Yes. The Mets and the Braves today play a doubleheader. So the first game, the Mets won 5-4. We had two games postponed. The Guardians and the Padres. God, the Guardians are going to have a lot of games to make up because I think they're getting postponed like every other day. It seems like, and the Tigers and Pirates are postponed. So looking up, Diamondbacks, Marlins, top of 5. Diamondbacks are winning. The Rangers, Phillies are tied at 3 at the top of the 5th. Game 2, Mets and Braves. Mets up 2-0, end of 5. Twins and Orioles. Twins up 1-0, top of 4. Blue Jays and Yankees are tied at 0, bottom of 4. Angels and the Red Sox are 1-0. Red Sox. The White Sox and Cubs in the Chicago series there. Up 2-0. White Sox bottom of 2. The Brewers and the Reds are tied at 0. The Mariners and Astros are tied at 0, top of 1. That game just started. And the Cardinals and Royals are just starting. And speaking of the Cardinals, Greg is MIA today. He's got some stuff going on, so we wish him the best. And we'll see.
Do we?
Brandon, can't hear you.
You're muted.
Sorry,
There we
guys.
go.
There you go.
Sorry. I don't know, my mic's glitchy today. So, but
I was like, that's the best thing Brandon said all year.
all right.
Brandon, I want to touch on this young man because he is just absolutely tearing it up, and he's on your team. And you know who I'm talking about, Byron Buxton.
Oh, yeah. Buxton.
You know, he's hitting almost 400.
Yep.
And if you look at his careers, everybody has always said he's got all the tools.
Yep.
You know, and he's been in the league like 4 or 5 years now. The first year or two, he was up and down.
Yep.
Didn't hit for much, played awesome defense. And then the next year, he hit a little more, but not that good. And, a couple years ago, he had some hot flashes. Last year, he had a pretty decent year, and he's just one of these guys that the team has given him a chance and been patient with him.
Yep.
He's like a late bloomer. I don't know how old he is, 26, 27, I think. But he has put it all together this year. Really, in my eyes, first month of the year, MVP. He is doing everything.
He's 28.
Okay, see?
Yeah. So the thing that gets him is, of course, the injury bug. I mean, the guy's playing 110, 120% out there, running into the walls, and that's where he gets
and that's
hurt
a little bit of it, and these young guys got to learn when to go full gas and when not to go full gas. When they're young, they want to impress. So they're losing 10-1. They're going to make that dive into the wall to catch the ball. Really, just let it go.
Yeah, the sad thing is 2017 was his only year that he's played 140 plus, or actually over 140 games or 100 games because he played 140. He's been hit with the injury bug on 92 games in 2016, 87 games in 2019. So I mean he's there. I mean,
I think
the experts
back then,
Twins are definitely a better team with him in the lineup.
Yeah.
Especially in center field.
Early on back then, he was up and down from the minors too a little bit. That probably was one reason. But because he plays hard, he gets hurt. But he's older, he's smarter now. It seems he's putting it all together. Good attitude. He's happy. He's a guy you probably want to watch. You're going to go to a game to watch him play.
Oh, no doubt. He's definitely.
And you got Carlos Correa. Hey, you guys. Hey, it's a little surprise of where they're at, but not really.
Well, for me, I was worried about the pitching staff starting in the bullpen. I wasn't too worried about the bats. I figured the bats are going to come alive and be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But the pitching staff is what really got me going. I mean, Ryan, who I think is pitching tonight, has been wheeling and dealing. Bundy's been pretty decent. I know they got lit up the other day with the Rays, 4 runs in the first inning, but they're there. I said the first month was going to be a break or
Yeah.
make it. I mean, they're up three
Well,
and a
a
half.
good start is always a good thing. They'll
Yep.
start drawing more fans because they're in first place. And
Yep.
really, as of right now, I would say the only team they need to worry about is the White Sox getting going. The Guardians aren't going to be good. The Tigers will be okay. And the Royals, I think the Tigers and Royals will play better,
Yeah.
but they're probably like a 500 team. Maybe the Royals could jump up a little more, but the Twins, from what they're looking like right now, I think they're a legit, at least wild card team,
Yeah.
or over, they could finish 10 games over 500, win that, getting that 85, 88 range. The way they look
Mhm.
now, their pitching's doing good,
Yep.
and the White Sox just haven't got it going yet. That's all. They're really good.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, between the watching out for the White Sox and honestly, watching themselves. I mean, hopefully they just don't combust, and they stay consistent. Like you said earlier, you win 2 out of 3, you win 3 out of 4, you win 2 out of 4. I mean, you're going to be at the top of your division. You keep doing
Yep.
that. So,
Yes.
one, they just got to get
May,
over.
if they do close to the same thing, say they win 12
Yep.
to 14 games in May,
Yep.
going into June, you're solidly over 500.
Yep.
Then your confidence starts boosting on guys. They start believing in themselves, and I think with Buxton and Correa, them two guys are a solid core. Maybe Sano gets, I don't know if he has options left or just takes a couple weeks off. If he's hurt, gets going, he might be home run happy early in the year.
Yeah, Sano, he's
it's
one of
about
those guys. Sano's one of those guys where when he's on fire, he's unstoppable.
Oh yeah.
But when he's in
Yeah.
a slump, he's in a slump. I mean, like I said, he's batting like 0.87 right
Yeah.
now. So Dirk kind of touched on his surprise team. Chris, so far, first month in the season, what's your surprise?
Well, Twins.
I would think
And
Rangers.
the Angels, they're also in first place. Astros are just kind of puddling along there. It's Mariners, they're there as well. Angels have players. You got Mike Trout and you got Syndergaard and a couple other good pitchers there. And a lot of talk has been this year about how poor Mike Trout is having this Hall of Fame career, and he plays for the Angels, and they haven't done nothing. They really haven't done anything since the early 2000s when they had that really good group of guys. The Mariners, they got young talent. I don't think the Astros have gotten hot yet. They definitely got pitching. I've seen them play on TV a couple times against the Rangers. They did take 3 out of 4 from the Rangers, but it wasn't an easy 3 out of 4. So Athletics, this looks like where they'll be, but then they always surprise people, and it's like that. Over in the National League, the AL East, we all discussed early in the season. There's 4 teams that are going to vie for the top 3 spots, and the Red Sox are 8 games back, but all it takes is a good week, and they're right back in it.
Yep.
Everybody else, the Rays, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, they're all over 500. Yankees in first place, so that's going to continue on for things, Let's see, National League, Marlins kind of surprised in second place right now. Brewers and Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are good. You know, I think I could say first place. The Brewers, they're a good team, you know, and it's not surprising, but it's you know, it's not to be unexpected, you know. So I think because this division's just the Brewers and the Cardinals. Pirates, Cubs, Reds, especially the poor Reds. Oh my God, how awful. And
we'll talk about them shortly. So
and so that's the Central. And in the NL West, just like we and 5,000 other sports reporters and things like that, Dodgers, Padres, Giants in that order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know the Giants are half game behind in technically third place because of percentages. Rockies over 500. That's a surprise, you know. And the Diamondbacks are right there. So maybe this division from top to bottom will be pretty close, you know. Dodgers just doing what the Dodgers do. Padres, they always seem to implode, but they're all getting a year older, a year wiser and stuff. And the Giants have been playing solid baseball. You know, they really haven't missed too much from last year. You know, the guys are going good and good defense. So that's an interesting race right there. I think it's going to be close. The Dodgers, Padres, Giants, you know, that whole thing could go down to the last week with those three teams, you know.
All right. So, Chris,
Yeah.
what are your surprises so far? I mean, they're kind of named off the whole league, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I would think the Rangers would be one, you know, because we were so high on them. And then maybe one would be, I would say the Diamondbacks, because last year they weren't all that good.
Oh.
They're playing well now, but it's still early on in the season.
Yeah, no doubt. I definitely got to go with the Rangers because, I was definitely, like everybody else, high on them. They made some money and, you know, but they're going to come. They're going to come around.
Yeah.
I mean, they should finish ahead of Oakland for sure. And then
you take away the Rangers' first 2 weeks, and they're playing 500 ball.
Yeah,
you know they got a ways to go to get there, but the last 2.5, 3 weeks, you know, I think they've relaxed, you know, and they're starting to play their ball and stuff. Plus, they had some weird games and stuff, but
But outside of that, you know, and then we can get right into it. So what can the Cincinnati Reds do to turn their season around? I know it's only a month in, but right now, you know, we got about 5 months left of the regular season. They're on pace to only win 15, 20 games. You know, they keep at this pace. You know, we all talk about paces and predictions and stuff. But so, Dirk, you being a coach, what can they do to turn things around in Cincinnati?
Really, Joey Votto's 38. Okay, he's gonna scratch at the Hall of Fame. Hey, if he can stay healthy and play good for 2 more years, he might get there. The players they have, they got a really good young pitcher, Hunter Green. This guy averages like 101 miles an hour, but he's very young. So he's going to be up and down. You got Tommy Pham, pretty good player in center field. And, you know, Kyle Farmer plays third base. He's a pretty good guy. They just they're in that spot where you're just not good anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you got very young players coming up. So they could, and especially with this start, they could well lose 100 games. I mean, really, the way they started, it's going to be hard not to. and
Wow, Votto has not homered yet. I did not notice that. 9
yep,
hits and 74 at bats. Yeah,
yep, he's and he's 38, so I don't know what could get in a trade. He was 34. You could probably do a trade deadline thing, and maybe get 2 or 3 nice prospects. But he's 38. He might be at the end of his rope. Who knows? I don't think you're going to get,
no.
you trade him to some other team with riches. You're not going to get much for him. They're just going to have to be smart with money, look at young free agents, draft well. They'll have good draft position, and looks like they're gonna suffer for a couple of years.
Yeah, I think if you make a move for Votto, you're bringing him in for probably the bench, so you're not going to give up much for him. You're not going to give up prospect.
No. He's too old.
Unless you're possibly, the Yankees, who think they can, everybody they touch turns to gold. But, Chris, what do you think? How can Cincinnati turn this around?
Probably just, I would think relax a little, just play your game, kind of like we talked about the Rangers, and, just play your style of baseball.
Yeah.
That's all you can really do.
I'm just looking at the stats right now, and, they don't have a pitcher that has a quality start yet. They've only had 3 wins. Their team leader is an ERA is 6.45. So I mean that just tells you how bad they're struggling right now.
What's that, Hunter Green?
No, that's Manley, MAHE or MAHLE.
Molly. Yeah.
Oh, yep. He hasn't given up a home run yet in 22 innings. So
yeah, they've just they're in a bad spot. I would hate to be a
Hunter
fan.
Green has a 6 ERA, so I mean
I honestly don't know what their minor leagues look like, but to me, if their minor leagues were good, you'd see them. And there probably is 3 or 4 rookies on there that are young guys. I know Hunter Green is what? He's He's really young. He's like 20 or 21.
Yeah.
And
right now he's sitting at a 6.0 ERA. He's 1-3. I mean, their bullpen's getting rocked. Well, they got a starting pitcher here, Sam Martin. He's got a 13+ ERA. They got 2 relievers over 10 ERA.
Yeah.
So they're. I mean, and the sad thing is, we think about it now. There's got to be one All-Star that comes out of this team. Because each team has to be represented. And
not anymore. Did they change that? I thought they changed it a couple years ago. Each team didn't have to have one player.
Well, if that's the case, good, because I mean, it's nice to see a player get represented, but
yeah, he's 23 years old. So
I mean, if that's the case, who would be? I mean, a Farmer maybe, the third baseman, shortstop.
Yeah.
I mean, would he be the All-Star? Dury, he's got 4 home runs, 8 RBIs. I mean, it can't be Votto. Votto's only batting $122 unless he lights it up. But right now, I mean, if the rule is still the same, I mean, Cincinnati's going to have one All-Star, and it's probably going to be,
a relief pitcher, somebody that's picked up good, or if somebody can.
Right now, I don't see an All-Star on this team.
Yeah.
I mean, so Dirk, why don't we get into that no-hitter combo? What you wanted to talk about with the no-hitters?
Right, and we've discussed pitching a lot, and I think we're going to talk about it a lot just because of the way the game is going now. It's no longer the pitchers throw 300 innings and have 20 complete games. it's going to be extremely hard and rare for a pitcher to win 20 games now, because they're always getting taken out in the 5th and the 6th, and another guy's coming in. And I think, you know, a true no-hitter naturally will be more rare, you know, and I think you're going to see more of these combined no-hitters. It's not the same achievement, but it is pretty cool. You know, it's a team thing. So they did go out and they did do it. So you credit the team with a no-hitter. It is awesome, you know, because it's very hard to do in the major leagues to hold the other team to no hits. It's just going to be different now, because I see a lot of articles that saying, well, you know, is a pitcher's win mean as much as it did 10 years ago? Because now all they got to do is get to the 5th inning, and they do, and then 3 guys come in and relieve him. He gets the win because somebody has to get the win, you know. But it's, you know, holds. I know a couple of years ago they started recording holds for pitchers who came in. You know, and that was a number that should be kind of an important number, you know. Hey, you come in, you face one batter, you get him out, and then you get out of the game. You held. Okay, that's a hold. So that should be kind of, it's not like a save, it's not like a win, but it still should be pretty significant, you know. It's like kind of like ops with batting. You know, you look at batting average, you look at slugging, but you look at the total combined, because some guys have a low batting average but a high on base percentage, you know, so that brings their ops up into the 900s, which is great. Whereas if you just went 245 batting average, but, you know, 35 home runs and 100 RBIs, that's a good season. And he also walked 85 times. That brings his on base percentage up and everything, you know, to make it more valuable with all the stat geniuses and stuff. The pitching thing, it's just evolving, you know, and I don't think it'll go back to the old way, you know, where you know, pitchers are 25-5, you know, and 300 innings, even strikeouts, you know. I don't know if you're going to ever see 300 strikeouts again. You know, you need a freak, you know, and
but the way the game goes, you're not going to get that bulldog. I mean,
the team will get the strikeouts. You know what I mean? Exactly. Teams will probably set strike, but you're never going to have the high strikeouts. You know, 210 strikeouts could lead the league, you know, very easily. You know,
Dirk, you talk about wins, and the key stat to get in the Hall of Fame, or one of them, was 300 wins. Almost write your ticket into the Hall of Fame. I'm looking at the current active wins leaders. You got Verlander at 228. He's been in the league for 17 years. What?
Oh, wow.
He's not reaching it. He'd have to pitch till he's 44. He'd have to turn into Nolan Ryan. You know, get 12, 13, 14 wins a year.
Yep, he's been in the league for 17 years, age 39 currently. Zach Greinke's been in the league for 19 years. He's 38. He's at 219. He ain't getting it. And then after that, Max Scherzer's been in the league 15 years at age 37, 194. He's not going to get it.
No.
So, I mean, you know, Kershaw, 15 years, age 34, 188.
Well, I mean,
Adam Wainwright, who will probably be in the Hall of Fame, and should be in the Hall of Fame, 186 in 17 years.
Yeah, you know,
David
and
Price,
he's 40.
and he's 40. David Price, 14 years, 36, 155. So, that Magic win total, I mean, I'm trying to look here at the youngest guy on the list right now. Eduardo Rodriguez, 29. He's been in the league 7 years. He's got 64 wins.
Yeah, that's less than 10 wins a year.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Zach Davis, 8 years. He's 29, 57 wins. I mean,
well, look at Jacob deGrom. He's been in the league 10, 11 years, and he's got like 76, 78 wins.
But he's hurt
and
a
he's
lot.
won 2 Cy Youngs by winning 10 games and
Yeah.
12 games. But all the
Yeah.
it's going to be more of a combined what has the pitcher
Yep.
done?
yeah,
how
DeGrom,
has he
77
been?
wins in 8 years. I mean,
Yep. Okay. Yeah. He'll be lucky to get the 150. But look at his stats.
Yep.
The strikeouts per 9 inning. It's going to be different. There's not going to be any more 300 game winners unless they change the rules to make the starting pitcher that goes past it.
yep,
Well, once they get to 5 innings, they can get the win if the team holds the lead.
yep.
But that's, that you still got 4 innings to play. You could have 2 lead changes and stuff. It's going to be more overall what they have done.
Well, I'm
Verlander,
looking right now, and the youngest guy with the most wins, 6 years at the age of 27, Walker Buehler has 43 wins.
Yep. See, and guys were already on their way 25, 30 years ago.
Yep.
It's got to be, you got to look at the pitcher's body of work, his
Mhm.
ERA. It's going to be more statistical. Okay, led the league in strikeouts 6 times, even though it wasn't 300, he led the league.
Yep.
The innings and stuff, their ERA, their whip, like Verlander, Hall of Fame, no doubt about it. Wainwright, Hall of Fame,
Yep.
the length and what he meant to that team. Kershaw has like 2 more good years, Hall of Fame. If he doesn't get hurt, Hall of Fame.
So are we thinking that maybe 300 turns into 200, 220 as the magical number to get in?
Yeah, but I don't think there's going to be a magical number like that because pitchers just don't get the wins. And
No.
look at DeGrom.
Nope.
If he stays healthy for 5 more years and does the same thing, he'll have 120 total wins.
No.
But
Well, yeah, they're going to rely more on
he's
accolades,
going to have the
strikeouts,
stats to get in there.
no-hitters.
It's the overall picture.
I definitely get that. I mean,
You
but
just
I
gotta look
think
at
the benchmark though, maybe not for an automatic bid into the Hall of Fame, but to it's going to be 200, 220. I think is where we're going to start seeing these pitchers land, and they're going to have to change their benchmark a little bit.
look at it this way. 25 years ago, you hit 400 home runs,
Yep.
you're in, right? Now,
That was
Dave Kingman threw a wrench into that because he hit over 400, but he didn't have a very good batting average, like
Yep.
250.
Mhm.
Didn't win a World Series. And, he was a decent outfielder, didn't steal bases. He just hit 400 home runs. Rob Deere, 400 home runs.
Yep.
He's more recent. That used to be 400 home runs, you're in the Hall of Fame. Now
Yep.
it's 500 home runs, because more guys are hitting home runs. So
Mhm.
I think the bar is raised. And anybody that hits 500 should be in the Hall of Fame. 3,000 hits is still going to be a thing, but there's going to be guys that get 2,700 hits, but they have a 310 lifetime batting average and say they hit 400 home runs. Well, yeah, they'll be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
I've always gone by Hall of Fame with sports and everything. If you mention a player's name, if you have to think about it for a couple of seconds, no. If you just go, yeah, then that's what it should be. Football, everything. No, there really should be no borderline. I know there's going to be a borderline, but if you go, well, Biggio was kind of close, in my opinion, but he was an all-star catcher, an all-star second baseman, and an all-star center fielder. He played a long time, and he got his 3,000 hits. I want that guy in the Hall of Fame. All-star at 3 positions, all of fame. Lately, I've been reading a lot about, for some reason, in the last month, Rusty Staub has been a popular talk point of conversation. And he had an amazing career. He's still the only player to have 500 hits with 4 different teams. That's an amazing feat. I didn't know he was this close to 3,000. He ended up with 2,800 hits.
Yeah.
He was 1.5 seasons away, but he played in his last 2 or 3 years. He was mostly a pinch hitter and a very good one at that, but he was only 1.5 years away from 3,000, and I would have said yes if he had 3,000 hits. He just didn't get them. It is cool that he did what he did. That is a unique feat, and that feat is probably in the Hall of Fame. But you know what? Because guys switch teams so much now. Guys didn't play for 4 teams back then.
Yeah, no, it was 1 or 2. Unless you're Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson played for 6 teams, but he always ended up back on Oakland. So I want to talk a little history. May 1st, we had a couple unique storyline or history-making events. We'll turn back the clock to May 1st, 1987. Ironically, both things I want to bring up, Twins won the World Series in. So, so May 1st, 1987, Nolan Ryan belts his 2nd career home run as he coasts to a 12-3 victory over Atlanta. I didn't know Ryan had any home runs. So that was kind of cool. But
on the 30th, he had his 7th no-hitter.
Yeah.
In his career.
Nope, you're wrong. I was just going to bring that up. May 1st, 1991. Nolan Ryan at the age of 44 pitches his 7th no-hitter.
That's right, yeah.
Yep. And also, did you guys know this one? May 1st, 1991, Ricky Henderson of the Oakland A's becomes the all-time stolen base leader.
And he pulled the base up and actually stole it, physically stole it.
Oh, yeah. I would have, too. Now, ironically, what would he have done if that was home plate? Because you're digging for home plate.
Yeah.
Taking it home? I'm just kidding.
But, I mean, right there is 2 guys, their careers will never be duplicated. You're not going to see a pitcher throw 7 no-hitters. You might see a pitcher be a part of 7 no-hitters, but – and then Ricky Henderson, I mean – that record might not be broken at all, ever.
Yeah.
So Dirk.
60 stolen bases leads the league now. It's it's not up and down. It's not 90, 110. You're not going to get a Vince Coleman. Was Billy Hamilton of the Reds? Did he steal 100 ever? Or I don't know. That would have been in the last 10 years. I'm not sure.
We can look and see, but I don't recall anybody. I think he might have got close. Let's see here. So year by year stolen bases. Let's see. Billy Hamilton. So, anyways, we're not going to see anybody steal like those guys did back in the day. I'm looking at. I don't see anybody with 100 stolen bases in a year since Henderson.
So he was the last.
Yeah, Henderson had 108.
Vince Coleman?
Oh, I'm sorry. Vince Coleman on National League. You're right. Vince Coleman in 87 had 109. He had 3 years of 100 straight stolen bases. He led the Nationals in 6 straight seasons. Ricky Henderson on the American League side, he led the league from 80 to 91 in stolen
Yeah.
bases. And then you got a guy named Kenny Lofton to break it up, and then Henderson led the league in 98 again with 66. But since those guys, the highest base total I see is 77, well, by Vince Coleman, 78 by Marquise Grissom.
Yeah. You're getting into the late 90s now.
Yep. But yeah, I see. I mean, Trey Turner, 32 stolen bases last year, led the National League, and Whit Mayfield of Kansas City led with 44.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they definitely don't steal like they used to. I mean, Jose Reyes back in 2007 had 78.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't swipe the bases as like they used to. I mean, that's a lost art in the game. But Dirk, I mean, speaking on historic, I mean, me and you are a little bit older than Chris by a few years. I mean, what do you recall of Nolan Ryan and Ricky Henderson, doing those accomplishments?
Well, my first memories of Nolan Ryan were going to watch the Mets with my dad in 1968, 69. And Dad always talked about this guy that they said he might be able to throw 100 miles an hour. And I did see him pitch a little, but he was really wild back then. Okay. He just was uncontrolled. He threw as hard as he could and everything. And then, like 2 years later, the Mets traded him for the Angels, and that's where he took off. And, his mechanics, everything he did with pitching, he used his whole body. You watch slow motion.
Oh.
He had big lower legs. He drove. His arm was a whip. He pushed through. Oddly enough, I thought I just read that he's got the record for giving up the most stolen bases, but he had a big motion, and and he played on some bad teams, and he got to 300 wins. And what the heck is going on here? Lights are going on and off. Yeah, you knew once he got with the Angels and started, you knew you were watching something special when you saw him pitch. I even would come down here to Texas, and I came down here in the late 80s, early 90s, watched a game where he was pitching in the old Arlington Stadium. Remember that one, Chris?
Yeah, I remember.
Brandon, this was a AAA ballpark, and it was all aluminum seats in the outfield. Ooh. Can you imagine sitting on them in 108 degrees in a day? No shade, but I remember watching him pitch. And now Ricky Henderson, I don't think I ever saw a game where saw him play live. Saw him tons on TV. He was an exciting player to watch, and he's one of the first guys that was really mouthy, and he was also very self-centered. It was me. But nowadays he'd be just one of the guys, but back then he was very unique, and whatever team he played on, he always made them better, He was an okay outfielder, because he was fast, but he would do dumb things. Like in the late 80s, early 90s, he came up with this, what he called the snatch catch. Fly balls hit right to him, and he just go like that to snatch it.
Yep.
And of course, he batted a couple of them toward the center fielder, because he mistimed it. And it's like, man, but that was him, flamboyant. It was exciting to watch him play, and he stole a base, and it wasn't technique or anything. He was just, he could have probably been an Olympic sprinter. He just had blazing speed, and acceleration. That's where you steal your base. Your first 3 to 5 steps That's where you get it done. He was full speed in 3 steps, you know. And any guy that does that is going to have a good chance at making it safe, you know. Deion Sanders, football and baseball, he was that kind of guy.
Right.
And, you know, people forget he was good in baseball. He hit 300, you know.
Yeah, I
And,
heard that.
you know, and you know, he only hit like 10 home runs, but you know, then he concentrated on football. You know, it kind of been cool to see him do that for 15 years.
But he also played in the same day World Series in the
Yep.
Super Bowl.
Yep, he's the only
In
one to
one
play
day.
the
Yep.
baseball, football game. He's also the only one, I believe, to hit a home
Hit a
run.
home run and a touchdown the same day.
Yep.
They had
So
to
we-
helicopter him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk about, you know, pitchers with no hitters or complete games. You know, I mean, you look at Noah Ryan here. You know, he had. Let me see. Where does his game start? Okay, so he pitched in, you know, 72. This is mainly when he was with the Angels. He started 39 games. He completed 20 of them. The
Mhm.
following year, in 73, he started 39 games, completed 26. You know, 41. I mean, you don't even see pitchers pitching 40 games anymore. I
No.
mean,
No.
you know,
You know, back then, if the pitcher didn't finish the game, he
Yep.
was disappointed.
yep,
You know, it doesn't matter if they won. I mean, he would be happy they won,
yep,
but you look at all the decent pitchers back then, they all had 20 complete games. Seaver was like that, 25 complete games, 22
Yeah.
complete games, you know, and innings pitched. Tom Seaver at that time set the record for strikeouts, at least 200 strikeouts in 7 consecutive years. Of course, Nolan Ryan blew that away a couple years later, but you know, that was a huge accomplishment, you know, because nobody had ever done it, you know, and you know, it's just different now. Now you got guys, you know, your middle guys, they're pitching in 60,
yep.
70 games. I don't know if anybody's pitched in over 70 games, but I know there's some guys that are in the 60s. It's just different now. And the other thing is, every guy that comes in throws 95, 98. You know, you'll have 1 or 2 guys in the bullpen that throw 92, but they got great command of their curveball and slider. You know, it's you know, but everybody can throw 95, 97. You know, I'll bet you half the teams in the league have at least one guy that can touch 100. You know,
Oh yeah,
it's totally different. It's different strategy. You know, they have better training nowadays. Guys are stronger nowadays. You know, and like we've discussed before, I think this is putting a lot of strain on a lot of arms.
Yeah.
But they're also doing it younger and younger. You know,
yeah,
high school, college, and
Little
sometimes
league.
their mechanics aren't right, and nobody knows. They're not with a coach that knows what to do to get the mechanics right. But
Yep.
they're, you know, guys are. I mean, it's regular. High school pitchers, Tommy John surgery, regular. It happens all the time.
yeah.
You know, it's, you know, because
And
they've
that
been
can hurt your
pitching since
career.
they've been pitching since they were as old as they could pitch when they were at 9 years old. You know, back before, like Tom Seaver was a shortstop in high school, went to college. You know, these pitchers didn't pitch till they became 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
Jacob deGrom, you know, yes, he has arm problems, but this is why he's a good hitter. You know, he was shortstop in college, pitched a little bit, you know, but if you're a good pitcher, they're going to take a good pitcher over a good hitter 9 times out of 10.
So let's talk a little bit about Ricky Henderson. I mean, 1406 in stolen bases in 25 years. I mean, looking at the current active leaders, I mean, you got D. Gordon at 333. He's played 11 years already. You know, Elvis Andrew.
Andrews.
318,
Elvis
yep.
Andrews. Yeah.
Yep. Billy Hamilton at 314. I mean,
Billy Hamilton only has 314.
for a career, yep.
Yeah, how many years has he been in the league?
9.
Okay, I'd have thought he had more.
So right now, if your goal is to break Henderson's record, you have to have 45 stolen bases in 25 or each year for 25 years to even tie it.
That ain't
so
that
it ain't
won't
gonna
happen.
No,
because a 40-year-old ain't stealing 45 bases.
No, I mean,
and Ricky Henderson again was a freak.
Yeah. So
and
I'm
wonder
just looking at like yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, nobody's, I mean, God, I'm trying to look to see if anybody even, no, because that's not going to average out, right? I was going to say Freddie Tatis Jr. has 52, but that's in 3 years, so he's a third of the way. Yeah, you're going to have to, come out swinging right away, stealing right away. I mean, to even come close with that record.
Stealing is still an integral part of the game. It's just not going to be huge.
Nope. Just like bunting. Bunting's not going to be huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it all the time. The fundamentals of baseball is gone. I think somebody mentioned, I think it was J-Mac on our Four Bros late night show, said he saw somebody finally lay down a bunt on the third base line against the shift and got a hit on there.
I don't know.
I saw a couple bunts.
That happens pretty frequently, but they just do it once.
Yeah.
It's like George Brett was talking on a podcast or something last week, and I know he was bragging, but he said, "Oh God, if they put the shift on me, I'd hit 600." And but he was a hitter that used the whole field, so they probably wouldn't put the shift on him. They only put the shift on the pull hitters.
Yep, exactly. I mean, Tony Gwynn, if they put the shift on him, I mean, he would eat up. Who am I thinking of? Rod Carew. They put the shift on him, he would eat up the opposite side of the field, no problem. I mean, I just, that's one thing that upsets me about baseball.
They're all lying.
Yep. But yeah, it kind of upsets me about baseball has gotten away from the fundamentals and
I mean, you can probably count on your hand the best guys that are pure hitters, over 300, 30 plus home runs, and Trout, Pujols, well, he's done, but for the bulk of his career, and he hit the other way too, there's not a lot of guys that you'll get the one guy that'll hit 340 and he'll lead the league, and then next year it'll be somebody else.
You don't have the consistency.
Nobody that hits 340 every year now.
I mean, you don't have the Tony Gwynns, the Puckett's, the Hendersons, the guys that were consistent hitting Boggs, that if you put money on them, they'll lead the league. You're probably going to win, that batting, bet.
Well,
so
honestly,
what's up?
If teams face them guys, they probably would, pretty quickly stop doing a shift on them.
Oh, yeah.
It's up to the hitters, and I think with a lot of hitters, it's a mano a mano thing. No, I'm going to beat you anyway, and everybody says, why doesn't Joey Gallo hit the left field? Well, that's not the type of hitter he is. He's big and strong, and he tries to mash the ball. If he lightened up his swing, he'd probably still have the strikeouts, but probably a lot of pop-ups, and weak ground balls. You don't become.
You're a hitter. You're used to hitting one way. I mean, granted, we could sit here, just hit the opposite way. But you've been batting this way. You've been hitting this way for X amount of years. You're in the pros. You're at the highest level. I mean, it's kind of hard to adjust your game.
And if they want to bunt the other way instead of hitting a home run, the other team will go, okay, here, bunt. Now we got a
Yeah.
runner on first. We got a double play combination,
Yep,
and the next
exactly.
guy will roll it over,
Yep.
know.
No, definitely. I mean, hitters, it's a different game. Still love it though. I mean, I still wouldn't give up anything to not have baseball. So wrapping up here, we'll talk about some scores here. Diamondbacks, Marlins. Diamondbacks up by 5, bottom of 7th. Rangers, Phillies. Chris, your Rangers are up 6-3 over the Phillies. So
Yay!
top of 9.
Better be.
Top of 9, the Mets up 3-0 on the Braves. So that one's going to be ending here shortly, it looks like.
Mhm.
Let's see here. The Twins and Orioles are tied at 2, top of 6. Yankees, Blue Jays, Yankees 2-1 in the top of 7. Angels, Red Sox up 2-0, bottom of 7. White Sox 3-0 over the Cubs, bottom of 4. Reds and Brewers up by 1, 3-2 over the Reds in the bottom of the 4th. Mariners, Astros are still tied in the bottom of the 3rd. Royals up 1-0 on the Cardinals, top of 4, and the Rockies and Nationals, top of 2, still tied, so at 0. So, guys, with that being said, Chris, while we go around, give about 30 seconds to wrap up the show.
Thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. Good to have baseball back. It's been, a good month so far. So let's hope the other months are still good, and keep tuning into Coast to Coast and On Deck.
All right, Dirk, how about you, Coach D?
Well, yep. Let's just keep enjoying watching baseball. Let's go Mets. Keep it up. And go Rattlers too.
Oh,
We got a doubleheader coming up on Mother's Day, so that's going to be
Oh
interesting.
wow!
I wonder if there's
Okay.
any parents there.
I'm surprised
Any
there'll be any
empty-
kids there. I mean, definitely you play for your mom. I mean,
Yep.
so. Well, with that being said, again, thanks for everybody. Frank for chiming in. He said Mets. So he's with you, Dirk.
Yep.
Definitely keep checking us out.
Go Mets.
At the top of the hour at 9 o'clock, we'll have Tuesday Night Mania. Wednesday, we'll have the Bo and Joe Show. We'll have Sports Minute. And then again, just keep checking us out all week long on all our shows. Reach out to us if you have any comments or any ideas for shows or topics you want us to cover. So, with that being said, this is Big B, Sir Crispy Bacon, Coach D, and this is On Deck. We'll check you all next week, everyone.